Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a presentation to do. First of all, round of applause for Rory, who had 150 games. Sensational. Well done, Rory. Your family, congratulations. Referee of the month. Coach of the month, player of the month. Tonight it is referee of the month. Young Bailey Panuto. Bailey, you here? You've been fantastic, mate, since you've joined us. So well deserved. Why do you referee, Bailey? That'll do. Well done. So do I. Thank you, Bailey. Are you going to get a photo? Just for a month. Not with me, mate. I want people to look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be outstanding and remove your headgear? We have a somber moment to take reflection upon. On behalf of the football family of Darwin, our thoughts are with the Van Linden family, the patriarch, the grandfather. Eric Van Linden passed away this week. Our thoughts are with the three sons, two of which are life members of football in the Northern Territory, Julian, Leon and Ori. And of course, the grandson who's playing in the defensive line tonight for Casuarina. I would ask you all, please, to take a moment's silence and share your thoughts privately with the Van Linden family at this time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And so, with that minute's silence impeccably observed, of the penultimate round in the Football Northern Territory Men's Premier Division season. And we wrap the weekend with Casuarina against Port Darwin in a match that a couple of weeks ago shaped as Port Darwin haven't quite held up their end of the deal, and Casuarina, with their win against Hellenic last week, are in a near impenetrable position in the top four of the Football NT. For those of you not familiar with the two teams, it's Casuarina in the checkers and Port Darwin in the maroon and blue. And the equation for Port Darwin is this: they must win tonight, they must win next weekend, and Casuarina placed Darwin Hearts next weekend, and in doing so there would also need to be a goal difference swing of 8. So it is as tall an order that you could possibly set, because even if Darwin Hearts conceded 9 goals last night in their loss to Uniatsuri, and would surely be there for the beating next weekend. Safety net, they want to win tonight, or at least get a draw, and confirm mathematically that they will be participating in finals. And they themselves would have an equally tall order to try and finish third. 1v4 semi-final. Final system is 1v4, 2v3. Casuarina on 25 points, Uniatsuri on 31. And the goal difference is an even bigger gap, 15. Tonight, well, they might still stand some chance of climbing into third. My name's Teo Petlazeri. Pleasure to have your company on this Saturday night. Teams as the match has now kicked off. Casuarina in goal, Dion Newell. Number 2 is Ryan Newell. 3, Richie Barreto will stay with play because this is Luis Rodriguez breaking down the left side, cutting it back. Lost his feet. 4 is Gordon Pereira on the ball, just very briefly you saw there. 7, Mark Casemiro. 9, Luis Rodriguez. 8, Corey Davis. 12, Jamie Keane. 13 is Quinlan Tran. And we had the minute silence for before kickoff, Jari McRae van Lingen. And completing the starting 11 is the number 16, Paraskos Coombe. And for Port Darwin, their goalkeeper is Dominic Price. 3, Declan O'Shea. 4, Dylan. 7, Raimundo Jose. 9, Roberto Cicles. 12, Ryan McAvoy. 14, Endry Prifty. 15, Sean Hodor. 16, Jonas Karasalis. And 18, Jay Adams. Port Darwin win against Darwin Hearts last weekend, while Casuarina were able to beat the already crowned minor premiers Hellenic 2-0 in a result that will, if nothing else, give them some into a potential final against the ladder leaders. As we see Port Darwin playing themselves into trouble here, Rodriguez able to make a nuisance of himself, but eventually the ball is scuffed clear. And now a long ball played off the outside of the boot, which is going to be chased down and comfortably retrieved by McRae van Lingen. And then he just gets himself into... This is Ryan Newell. His brother Dion, the goalkeeper for Casuarina, trying to keep it moving at all costs, but it's been intercepted. Hot ball on to Rory Hood. Seeing him back in an outfield role today. Of course, last time he was in a match I was broadcasting, he was playing in goal and he got himself sent off after about 5 minutes. So, an outfielder tonight. And it was games like that which Port Darwin will think back to, where they really did, through the middle part of the season, generate a lot of momentum, and perhaps there was one of Casuarina or Uniatsuri, but their revival was only long enough that they could get into the conversation, which Uniatsuri very abruptly finished. Given away here, Hodor trying to turn provider for Cicles. Half-hearted shouts for handball. Cicles may be offside as he chases the ball down here. Pereira's first thought was to look at the linesman, but play continues, and now it's out for a throw. Now dancing on the ball, Jose Raimundo. Chance here for Port Darwin as it's teed up at the edge of the box and the shot comes in, but straight at the goalkeeper, and that was a great opportunity for Ryan McAvoy to his left side, but he could not steer that away from the goalkeeper, and Port Darwin with a great chance to at least make Casuarina a little nervous, at least open the scoring. You can just imagine that they would all turn into massive Darwin Hearts fans next weekend. Down the right side, Casemiro. If it does come to it, next weekend, Port Darwin plays Mindle on Friday night. And then Darwin Hearts plays Casuarina on Saturday afternoon. And then to finish the home and away season, Uniatsuri's fantastic form, you wonder if that could be a potential grand final preview. Pereira went to ground, and just as it looked like it, he may have done so a little bit easily. And the central referee's assistants tonight, on the near side of your screens, Albert Kraus, and on the far side, Mark Dent. Pereira takes the free kick quickly, dealt with McAvoy's pass. Distributed out to the left, asking a bit too much of Carasalis. Pereira seizing on the opportunity to advance, but his path is blocked once, twice. Is it third time lucky? Stops to a walk, and now tried to thread through Rodriguez. Jose. And now McAvoy, Sinclair's. Port Darwin controlling the ball at the moment, looking all right. Jose again. Now Hodor. Through the left they go. Carasalis hooking it back. Sinclair. And the offside flag is up, and it's a chance for the first time tonight to go to Brian McCormick, who joins us from the Darwin Football Stadium. Brian, great to have you on board. We've got him. We'll see if we can check in with Brian McCormick as the night goes on. Right now, Dion Newell is going to Barreto, McRae Van Lingen, Casuarina, just getting a feel for the ball. Corey Davis, Gordon Pereira, Pereira now trying to go over the right side. Port Darwin defence standing stern. Patchy form this year is that they've been overrun in midfield at times when they haven't had Gordon Pereira in there. He really does transform the team. Without him, they have looked a little bit listless and wafer thin. And it will have a transformative effect. And they probably now, after 8 minutes, are starting to just establish a foothold in the game. A lot of possession to Port Darwin in the early exchanges. This is Ryan Newell. Little tap of the ankles has left him down on his haunches. Casuarina continue to attack. Back up to Darwin again and say hello to Brian McCormick. Brian, welcome.
Thank you, Theo. Glad to be with you this time.
So give us an update on the weather and condition.
Yeah, it's quite a nice night. It's cooled down a lot since this afternoon. It was quite hot earlier. We've had a bit of rain recently, so it's a bit humid as well. But overall, I'd say it's a nice night for football.
And the pitch is looking a little bit heavy tonight. Normally does appear. What's it like assessing it there on the scene?
Yeah, there's been a few games on it already tonight, so it is a little bit chopped up and a little bit wet as well. But overall, I think it's not in terrible condition, so it should be all right for the rest of this game, I'd say.
Free kick here for Raimundo Jose, and Port Darwin trying to take the lead. Sizing up the players to aim for. And right into the middle of the pack, and at all until Dion Newell dropped what seemed like an easy catch and then had to wrestle Roberto Sinclair out of the way in order to claim the ball. Of course, he was sent off about a month ago, Dion Newell, in a scrum inside the penalty area. So the last thing Casuarina would want is to lose him right on the eve of finals, and now end-to-end Casuarina have a corner. Brian, tonight, of course, it's almost mission impossible for. Do you think their mindset would have been coming in? Is it as simple as just trying to win and then hope for a miracle next weekend?
I think they're going to come out and try and do the best they can today, and at least give themselves a shot. Obviously, you can only control what you can control really, and I'm sure they're out to do that tonight.
In swinging corner from Pereira, dealt with by O'Shea. Jose gives up possession to Corey Davis right at the byline, and what about the mindset of Casuarina? Of course, they've got all the decks stacked in their favour. They need to lose tonight and to Darwin Hearts next week and get heavily beaten in both games to miss the 4. So when you've got to treat it like there's a lot more at stake than the mathematics would suggest there is.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously important that they play themselves into some good form coming into finals. I'm sure they won't want to slip up now. It makes things a lot harder, in the weeks leading in. So a good performance from them will be really important.
Trying to play through the middle. Siclez went to ground. Now a long ball to no one in. Runs onto it. It's been a bit of a crazy weekend so far, Brian. We had 9-2 last night with Uni Atsuri smashing Darwin Hearts, and then Mindel Aces and Hellenic, who have been no strangers, no exception, 5-3, albeit with Hellenic always taking the lead and Mindel playing catch-up, and it was 3-all reasonably late in the game before Hellenic struck twice to take the points, as we see Jose. And I saw those score lines and I thought, well, we're not going to get something similar here. I figured we were going to get far more of an arm wrestle. So unlike the previous 2 games this week, I'm not sure we're going to get a goal fest.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it at the moment. We never know. Casuarina have some really top quality attacking players, so they might be able to sneak a couple in. But equally, I think Port Darwin are reasonably solid at the moment, so it might be, as you say, a bit more of an arm wrestle.
Ball in the centre of the pitch, Rodriguez. Playing stops to a walk at the feet of Barreto. 50-50 was there to be won. Raimundo Jose prevails. Hodor keeps the ball moving. Heated, and it was McAvoy who strayed beyond the defensive line too far. So we're almost 15 minutes into this match, and is there anything you've noticed on the bench or just the setup of either of the 2 teams? I've already made note, Brian, of the importance of Gordon Pereira to Casuarina. They, with or without him, they are a totally different team have in midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. He's crucial to how they play. I think he's a really top quality player up here in Darwin, and you can see the effect it has on their team. But equally, Port have brought in a few really good players themselves, and they're starting to show a bit as well. It's starting to become a lot more even.
So free kick wide on the right. Instead of Pereira, they're going to go for Davis this time, and he manages to pick out O'Shea. Port Darwin repelling for now as they go out to the left. Casuarina, Ryan Newell. Rodriguez, almost a kind. Casemiro was flawed and tried to sell the contact as O'Shea went through, but legal, says the referee. And now O'Shea, who stayed on his feet, played his teammate into a 1-on-2, and so possession falls. And his first thought is to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, Dejan Newell. Barreto again. And then just given away in midfield. Rather timid pass. And that ball from Hodor, asking a bit much of Siclez. I mentioned how heavy the turf was, and Brian mentioned how slippery. That is a poor back pass, and Casemiro, well, the whistle went, and if that ball had ended up in the back of the net, it wouldn't have counted as a goal. Brian, to why the referee whistled before Casemiro even attempted that shot.
Yeah, I think he's just been called offline there, Tio, so he's just gone a bit too early, unfortunately, for him.
So Price, who hasn't had a great deal to do in this game so far, he'll be happy that his defenders... Raimundo Jose playing it into space to run onto. Carasalis with energy. Now a shot from the edge of the box is held on to, coming in there from Endry Prifty, back in the starting 11 this week. Returned to the bench after a number of weeks out of the team. He was their top scorer for the season. He got to 10 and then spent a considerable amount of time out of the squad. His Port Darwin drop points. We saw there a foot race. Parascus Coombe asking some questions of the Port Darwin defence, and they're happy to concede a corner. So here comes the corner kick for Casuarina. And solidly headed away. Sicles. Off the chest. Attempted little pass and knock to advantage from Sicles. He's done well playing it out in front of himself. He's Jamie Keane. Now he waits for teammates to provide some support. And you see Port Darwin not really pressing with any great... Draw suits them just fine tonight. Quinlan Tran moving down the left side. Wasn't expecting a return pass. Pereira. Attempt at a touch of the ball and out it goes. So scoreless at the moment into the 20th minute on a night where Port Darwin have to win so much in order to make the top four. But there is a window of opportunity. Sicles. He's got a couple of defenders to deal with. He doesn't want to take the shot. Happy to defer. Now the opening goal, tapped in at close range. And Sean Hodder takes the plaudits. The flag stayed down. And I was inside, and that nice little network of passes from Port Darwin sees the score opened, and Sean Hodder, who scored a great goal last weekend, has continued his hot streak. It's 1-0 to Port Darwin, and Brian McCormick, how close a thing...
Yeah, they're looking pretty evenly matched at the moment. Like you said, that was a really good string of passes put together there, and as you sort of alluded to before, they sit off and they let you play and dull you into a bit of a constant security, and then they can just switch on and do something like that. So really well played by them.
But what about the decision to stay onside? Was there a defender that I didn't see there who was playing him on, or was that a really tight call?
I think it was a tight call for sure, but it looked like Sean might have just stuck in there just off his shoulder, off his back shoulder, and he didn't really see him coming in, so just a well-timed run by Sean, I'd say.
So that goal, as things stand, would be keeping the season alive into next weekend. To Casuarina on 25. But the goal difference is still Casuarina -4, Port Darwin -12. So still a long, long way to go. Prifty trying to run on. To go into next weekend with that sneaking suspicion that they're not home safe yet, especially after they went to the trouble of beating Hellenic last weekend. Hood. Score a hot or. Jose. And spitting on the ball, Hood. Thought he was fouled. Referee did not oblige. And good defending to win the ball straight back. McAvoy. Declares, and he couldn't get his feet right to finish. He was followed all the way in by Quinlan Tran, and that is very well defended by the left back, who was dragged all the way across to the right side of defence there. And 2-0. And the whistle goes. It'll be a free kick for Port Darwin, who've got the momentum at the moment. So here's the resulting free for Casuarina. All Port Darwin at the moment since scoring the goal. Casuarina at the moment just trying to absorb as much of this attacking pressure as possible. Jose. Port Darwin really just stroking the ball around, making Casuarina chase, and then one errant pass lets it all down. Coming through, Richie Barreto. And now the through ball, Casemiro. This is where he's so dangerous. Listen, what a good opportunity that was for Casuarina to make it 1-1. And Casemiro will be left to rue that missed opportunity. Equalised there, and it really could have knocked against the run of play. And instead, Port Darwin hold on to their 1-0 lead. Jose on the ball. 1-2 here with Hodor. It's almost a tease, really, from Port Darwin as to what they're capable of. And yet we know that the odds are so stacked against them to make the top four. Instead of being a taste of what's to come, this might well be their farewell performance. Quinlan Tran. Casuarina looking for a response. And now on the left, Keane. And that pass, too much on it for Tran to run down as it goes out for a throw. 28 minutes gone, Port Darwin on top, 1-0, thanks to the goal from Sean Hodor. And waiting now for a throw-in to be taken. McAvoy. And Jose just bailed out there as Barreto was challenging. Ball runs out for a throw instead.
Yeah, it looks like Jose's just come up a little bit worse for wear after that challenge as well. I think he got a bit of a knee into the thigh or the glutes, unfortunately.
Not good for Port Darwin, as he has been one of their more motivated and important players in this game. Dancing on the ball here, McAvoy. And then the back heel, too clever by half. But Rodriguez is not able to escape away. Keane allowed to run with the ball, but just meandering rather than running forward with any great purpose. Corey Davis. Keane again. Tran. And Tran, for a player who in the games I've commentated him has been such a reliable left back, he's just lost his passing range tonight. Seems to have really not been at the races in this one so far. Port Darwin haven't really tried to exploit that. They haven't attacked down his side of the pitch all that much. They've got to throw in here, though. Prifty. And now an early cross. To no one in particular, Dion Newell, easy pickings hard up against the goal line, and he rolls it out and looks to launch a counter-attack. Given away, Casemiro plays it to his own advantage. How costly could this be? Casemiro, oh, he's put it wide. And that is two great chances for Mark Casemiro. And he's been hurt here by the oncoming goalkeeper. Brian, we saw him miss a 50-50 about 5 minutes ago, and now he's missed here and he's been hurt in the process.
Yeah, I think that just shows what Mark particularly and Casuarina can do if you just fall asleep for a second there. He's rapid and he's unfortunately missed two chances, but I'm sure if they keep giving to him like that, he's going to put one away soon.
And they haven't called for the trainer yet. Looks like a top of the foot there, potentially an ankle. And even though he's hobbling, he's back on his feet. I'm sure he'll want to continue here. Dominic Price, you see there with a little pat on the back. He's right to continue, the goalkeeper. And counting his lucky stars, perhaps, that Casemiro has been wide of the mark on 2 occasions now. Of course, he was right up there in the Golden Boot race until this last round of the home and away, in which he has been left behind a bit by Uche Aquara and Simon Bell, both of whom have moved into the 20s. Casemiro still stuck in the mid-teens. Sicklers, a raking cross. Oh, it's met with a vault and Fedler wide, and I am not completely sure that Rory Hood was expecting that ball to make it all the way over the defenders there. He loaded up for what would have been spectacular, but he sent it way wide of the target.
Yeah, I think his eyes just lit up for a second there, and he just lost control of what was going on, unfortunately.
Sicklers assesses the options, trying to chip over the middle, second time ball, rolls it out to Jose. Just launches a high diagonal ball across the pitch. Prifty and off Tran. Didn't know a great deal about it as it got him in the head, but it's out for a corner. Must have got him right on the ear there, Quinlan Tran. Corner for Port Darwin, all Casuarina at the fall of the ball. Coombe. And that's a great pass, almost met by the slide, and the flag again stayed down. So Port Darwin finding their passing range inside the attacking third. Now we've got a player down for Port Darwin, maybe a groin strain it seems here for Sean Hodder. He's able to walk away. Sore, but by no means out of the game. And the referee insisting the ball comes back here. Flick header on, too much on it. Rodriguez nowhere near chasing that one down. Sinclair spraying it out to the left. Jose, I'm not sure exactly what the thinking was there. Busted offside, and he loaded up and just punted the ball away. Flick header on. Rodriguez. Is this Casuarina's equaliser? No, he loaded up and went for the shot and sent it a long way wide. And so with 10 minutes to go until the half-time here, Brian, what would you try to do now as Casuarina rather than wait until the half-time team talk? Is there something you can do from the sidelines live in the run that the bench should try?
I think they just need to do their best to get some more balls in behind. They've looked really dangerous when they have done, and we've even seen Gordon win a few of those flick headers just there. And you know, with the pace they have up front, I think they can cause real trouble if they can break that line a bit more often.
Midfield tangle. Port Darwin can't prevail though. Keane. Ball played all the way back to the keeper. Long ball out to the right side. Rodriguez. Flag goes up. Didn't time his run. You can see there, pleading his case to the assistant referee. Ball ran under his feet, and he's just looked sluggish there, trying to run the ball down, almost like he was happy to see it out for a throw, and then realised it may not have made it. Port Darwin trying to capitalise in quick time, and the header goes across the face. And, well, Hood, again, with a little half chance. He's had a couple fall to him in this game. That one an aerial opportunity. Brought about by some sluggish defending there from Casuarina. Rodriguez looked like a handball. The sideline agreed. Don't think the referee did though. It's going to be a Casuarina free kick. Long high free kick. Aerial duel, volleyed away. Hodor, the goal scorer, sending it out to the fence. Ball is won here by McAvoy. Able to go quickly though. And that pass from Sickler is too hard to chase down for Jose. 41 minutes into this first half, perhaps fatigue starting to be a factor as both teams think about the halftime break impending. Long ball for Casuarina. At the end of the half is often where you can expect someone like Mark Casemiro to pop up and look dangerous, just for one last chance. The referee's whistle is going to hold play here. Combative work from Hodor. Hood. And hard up against the line. Adams wins a throw for Port Darwin. Adams venturing forward here. Scooping the cross, edge of the box, headed away. Rodriguez coming deep to take possession. Pereira able to shift gears and go on a bit of a run here, but it's off the heels of Casemiro, and now O'Shea is right on his case, trying to knock him off the ball, but he can't do so. Casemiro taking on all the defenders single-handedly, and Rodriguez attempting the cut back. It's gone behind. Brian, it appears as though it is a free kick. What's the ruling?
Yeah, I think the ref just called it for that late challenge on Mark Casemiro there, just on the outside of the box, just after he released it. I tend to agree with that.
So a free kick in a dangerous position. This is prime territory for Gordon Pereira. It's going to be right against the edge of the penalty area. Port Darwin will feel as though 1-0 is a very fair reflection of how the game has gone. They'll be pretty unhappy if they concede an equaliser in what would be the last minute of regulation before half-time. So it is Corey Davis to take the free kick. Interesting that it is not Pereira but Davis who's been entrusted here. 5 in the wall. Dominic Price setting that wall now. And Pereira making a nuisance of himself inside that penalty area, lining himself up. O'Shea is trying to guard him. The referee is going to need to keep his eye on all sorts of potential flashpoints here at this set piece. So is this Casuarina's chance to equalise on the stroke of half-time? Davis to take the free kick. And anti-climax as he skies that harmlessly over the bar. And even if he'd kept it down, the position suggests it was going to be right in the keeper's area of control. So plenty of build-up and no satisfaction for Casuarina as we head towards half-time. Sigles, Rodriguez, Corey Davis into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Port Darwin, can they spring a surprise? Casuarina have just got themselves on top ever so slightly here at the end of the first half in general play. Port Darwin would love to consolidate the first half, which for the most part they've controlled. Raimundo goes to ground, and the referee, I think for a moment he was maybe shaping like he was going to indicate it was simulation, but no, it is a free kick. And even though we've already had a minute of first half stoppage time, it looks like there will be enough time for Port Darwin to try and double their lead right on the break. And what a boost it would be to their morale as they go in at half time. Now it is Dejan Newell's turn to set a wall.
Just on that, Theo, I'm not sure if Jose Raimundo's feeling the effects of that challenge from earlier on, but he's definitely not looking as sprightly as he was earlier. I think he's feeling around that groin region, so I'm not sure if we'll see him come out for the second half.
No, I agree with you, Brian. I think that it's a good observation. He is labouring a bit more. Endry Prifty to take the free kick. Just three in the wall there, tempting him to shoot at the top left corner as we look at this setup right here. Can Prifty double the lead? And it goes out, always rising. And now all eyes will turn to the referee to see if that is indeed half-time. Port Darwin must be ruining what could have been in some of the recent games where they weren't able to pick up all 3 points. That is half-time. They are halfway to what could be a Pyrrhic victory here tonight, as they lead thanks to Sean Hodor's goal in the 20th minute. Just a reminder that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pilot. Pilot is the most convenient way to deal with common men's health problems. Men in Australia aren't known for going to the doctor. Doctor's trips can be awkward and time-consuming. Pilot fixes that problem by bringing the doctor to you via the internet. Prescription treatments for hair loss and other common issues, free delivery. You can scan the QR code to find out more about Pilot. Stick around, the second half is coming up soon. And at half-time here, it is Casuarina 0, Port Darwin 1. Second half back underway with an offside. Port Darwin leading 1-0 thanks to a 20th minute goal from Sean Hodor. And as Brian McCormick rejoins us for the start of the second half. Brian, what direction do you think you'll see the game going in this second half?
I think Casuarina are going to have to step up and be a bit more aggressive with how they're playing. They're using the ball a lot at the back. I think they're going to have to try and get up field a little bit faster and make use of those guys up front that we've spoken about already. Because I think we'll be quite happy just to let them play around with it at the back there.
Right now, Casuarina a draw tonight, and they will be mathematically locked into the finals. Hodor, the goal scorer. And Roberto Sicles showed no interest at all in chasing after that pass, and coming from very deep, it's going to be one to give up on as the ball goes out. Just a reminder of the scenario on the live table as things stand. Port Darwin in 5th on 22 points. With a -12 goal difference, Casuarina on 25 points and only -4. And next weekend, on Friday night, it is going to be Port Darwin against Mindel Aces. They would have to win and win well. And then Darwin Hearts would have to beat Casuarina on Saturday afternoon. So it could take until the final weekend of the season to sort this all out. But it is still very much in Casuarina's favour. Long ball here, running through the left side. Hood, clever back heel. Sicles looking to cross in from the byline, batted down by Dejan Newell, and he's able to hold on to the ball. Comfortable in the end. Goes with a drop kick to boot the ball away. Casemiro, we saw him have 2 chances in the first half. Now he's biding his time, waiting for the right avenue to open. He goes to ground, and that is the penalty kick. And it is the chance for Casuarina to equalise. Mark Casemiro, we saw him take a knock to his ankle in the first half. He's been knocked again, but this time he'll feel a lot better about it, as it is a free opportunity to equalise from the penalty spot. And Brian, has the referee made the right call, sending Casuarina to the penalty kick?
Yeah, it looked to me like he'd caught his ankle on the way through there. Mark's normally a handful around the box, and I think he's proved that again.
So, penalty for Casuarina. Casemiro, who won the spot kick, will take it. And it is Dominic Price in goal, trying to preserve Port Darwin's lead. And he saved it! Off the legs. And Casemiro is denied. You can see the goalkeeper there, Price, is down on his haunches, so it may have left him a little bit sore, but I'm sure the adrenaline will be pumping and he'll still feel pretty good about it. And Brian, how about that? Casuarina the chance to equalise, and they've blown it.
Yeah, huge save, huge save. Wasn't an overly convincing penalty, but the keeper's definitely done well to clear it as he's done, but he's come off a little bit worse for wear as well. They're just getting some treatment out to him now.
Well, how big could that be tonight and in the scheme of the season?
Yeah, huge for Port. Big part of the game there, and definitely huge for Casuarina as well. They're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to try and get one back now.
Just going to watch the spot kick back here as we see him on his haunches. I'm wondering exactly how he's hurt himself here, saving this spot kick. It appeared as though the ball hit him in the knee, and he then, Price went and really favoured his right groin, his right inside leg, and see him doing some breathing exercises here. Brian, are you any better place than me to work out exactly what his ailment is?
No, unfortunately not. I was a bit unsure what happened there as well. I thought it came off his knee, as you alluded to, but he might have just winded himself there on the way down. I think that's a possibility as well.
Well, what a moment that is. Mark Casemiro, and the goals have dried up for him. in this final quarter of the home and away season. Penalty kick is saved. Well, the good news for Casuarina is it's still only 1-0, and all they need is a draw to mathematically seal their spot in the finals with a week of the home and away season to go. Even if they do lose tonight, everything is still very much in their favour. But it's been an action-packed first 5 minutes of the second half, and Port Darwin will happily take a 1-0 advantage. This is Paraskos Kuhn. Plays it to Corey Davis. Battle for possession. Kuhn able to hold his own, doing very well. That's a clever 1-2 with Casemiro. Who's he got to aim for in the box, though? It won't be allowed to arrive. Put behind for a corner kick. Declan O'Shea doing the defending. So corner for Casuarina. Second half has been almost exclusively down their attacking end so far. And the header here is dived onto by Price, and he's able to hold on. So the goalkeeper doing well, and we've now got a Casuarina player who is down and a bit sore. And that is Jari McRae van Lingen, the defender. He just hit him in the mouth. I think that's what the Port Darwin players are indicating, at least. So we're going to have another little delay here as the trainer coming out. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think similar to Dominic Price moments before, he's just landed a bit heavily and had the wind taken out of him a bit.
Play back underway then, and bouncing on Pereira, volleying away from the centre of defence. He's deputising for McRae van Lingen at the moment, and they will comfortably enough deal with the threat here. Ball from the left for Port Darwin, bending not to anyone's advantage in particular. Held on to by Newell. Through the right side, Rodriguez cutting it across, Casemiro. Defence quick to whip it off his feet. A little nutmeg there from Gordon Pereira was clever. And then he's slipped the ball through here for Casemiro, and the finish is rolling and wide. And they just cannot get that slice of luck in front of goal. Casuarina. 3 chances plus the penalty miss for Mark Casemiro now. And Brian, you have to wonder how long Port Darwin can continue riding their luck.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Kaz have just stepped it up for a moment there, and Port need to answer back with something, either by throwing up at the back or just getting control of the ball a little bit more. But if they keep playing this way, I think they're going to concede one eventually.
Neither team has turned to the bench yet. Casuarina Their subs tonight: Sebastian Smith, Chris De Silva, Jake Smith, Rafael Suarez and Daniel Marimba. And for Port Darwin, Tobias Kogai, John Dean, Isaac Paul, Samson Mashamango and defender Terry Fannin. And I was a little bit surprised to see Terry Fannin out of the team given how good he has been in recent games. He was excellent against Port Darwin last weekend, but obviously hasn't backed up for tonight. So far so good for the Port Darwin defence as far as the scoreline is concerned, but they've certainly given up some chances. And they're looking a little bit stodgy in attack here. Salas, long ball, too close to the keeper, held on to by Newell. Now, lots of shouting as Port Darwin player goes to ground under the challenge of Pereira. He is not happy about the decision. Raimundo Jose, who's gone down, and we were talking in the first half, Brian, about him looking a little bit hampered by a potential injury, but he is back out there. We're 12 minutes into the second half and he's still going.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see him come back on as well, but he's looked okay down that left side. I haven't seen him, limping around too much, so maybe he's been able to fight that one off at half time. But challenges like that definitely won't be helping the cause.
Edge of the box then. Casuarina have to be careful. They don't want to concede a second goal here. Make their task all that more difficult to close the door to the top four tonight. Prifty, clever work. Quick 1-2. Now he's being corralled and slowed down. Hodor. Bending ball off the head of Barreto. Sicles brings it down and Jose was offside. And making his feelings clear to the assistant referee, perhaps right on the border of talking his way into the book, but so far no yellow cards in this game. It's been a well-behaved match between the two teams, almost at the hour mark now. Raimundo Jose, high ball. And looks like a high boot. And I think correctly there, McAvoy just gives himself up. Saying, yep, that was a high boot. I was trying not to be. Jose. Sweeping cross. There's an unmarked man there in Prifty. He goes across to Sicles rather than attack the target. Maybe he could have decided to hone in on goal there, but he tried to tee up his teammate. That'll take us to the hour mark. Port Darwin still holding a 1-0 lead, which they've had since the 20th minute when Sean Hodor scored the only goal. Jose. McAvoy, twisting and turning. Horror. Eventually one pass too many, cleared away by McRae Van Lingen. Chance to build. Casemiro drops the shoulder and tried to run through a gap which did not exist. Long ball and offside against McAvoy. And they are really starting to get worked up about the assistant referee over on this near side, Albert Kraus. Not the first time in this half, Brian, that they've turned and acted very reacted angrily to an offside call. And well, I'll ask you, do they have any claim to feel hard done by some of these decisions?
Oh, I don't think so. That one looked like he just strayed a bit too early, unfortunately for him. And there was the one before as well. I think was much the same. I think they're just getting frustrated because they're turning the ball over like that after a couple of good passes, and it's not quite coming off for them at this stage.
Ball goes out for a goal kick here. So the little flurry of attacking pressure from Casuarina that started the second half appears to have dried up. And maybe that is going to prompt some action on the sideline. Brian, I'll hand it over to you to talk us through the first sub of the night.
Thanks, Joe. Looks like we've got Rafael Suarez coming on for Casuarina, number 11, and it looks like at number 2, Ryan Newell coming off.
Okay, so first change for Casuarina. They're pursuing an equaliser here. They only need a draw tonight to guarantee their spot in the top 4. Jose. Sticklers. He's going to use that left foot, and, well, that is an anticlimax as it drifts out. He had a free run at the ball there to whip one in, but he sliced it instead. And it goes for a goal kick. Kept in by Paraskos Coombe, but not to his or his own team's advantage. Port Darwin, well, asking a little bit of Dominic Price there with a bouncing back pass that needed some dealing with. Cleared emphatically, though. Prifty. Again, the assistant referee proving the scourge of Port Darwin in the second half, and that seemed like the most casual offside of all. And it's Roberto Sticklers there. Perhaps no excuse for the attacker not to have drifted beyond the defence on that occasion.
Yeah, I think from his position he should have been able to see all the way down the line, so he needs to do better from there, I'd say.
Long ball from left back. About 20 second half minutes, and Casuarina, in spite of more chances, have not been able to find an equaliser. Tran. Coombe. Oh, and Quinlan Tran not on the same wavelength for that pass, but all's well that ends well. Keane keeps it moving. Casemiro, clever ball, and now Rodriguez is in behind. It's Rodriguez, and it's twisted back onto the post. Extraordinary. The ball will not go in for Casuarina tonight. And I thought that Rodriguez was going to score. It ended up tumbling into the path of his teammate, who then put the ball at close range into the woodwork and then into the grateful hands of Dominic Price. And Brian, you and I agree here that it feels inevitable that chances will keep coming, but now it must surely be playing on Casuarina minds that they haven't been able to convert one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a phenomenal ball over to Rodriguez, and unfortunately he couldn't put it away. But at this stage, with the amount they've missed, it's going to be in the back of their heads every time they approach the goal, which is never good.
So Port Darwin would love nothing more than to score a second here and make that mountain that little bit harder to climb. It's a tumbling ball, and at shin level it is dealt with by Dejan Newell, who took the sting out of the shot. Boots it long. It's going to come back potentially with interest here. Prifty declares. Lots of defenders between him and the goal. And the referee's whistling here because there's been an incident off the ball here, which the camera hasn't caught. So, Brian, I'm going to go to you. Please try to fill in the gaps for me here. We have a prone player from Port Darwin.
Yeah, there's a little bit of physicality going on behind play between Mark Casemiro and one of the centre-backs for Port. I'm not quite sure who it is. But, yeah, it's just sort of boiled over, and I think Casemiro might have gotten to one of their backs, and, yeah, it's just bubbling over at this point.
Oh, the referee hasn't reached for his cards. Some protests going on from the Port Darwin players here. There's the fallen man, Dylan Quinn, back in a seated position at least. And he looks all right to continue, which is good.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if there wasn't any cards coming here, so it'd be interesting to see what the referees decide.
Well, one thing I've noticed, Brian, about the games in this league is they often do start so well behaved, but you can go 65, 70 minutes and it's no guarantee that tensions won't boil over or that you won't get a flurry of cards to finish a game off. And this seems to be following a similar pattern to a number of matches that I've called this season. And this has been, again, one of the more innocuous, well-behaved games, and yet this flashpoint may result in players entering the book. You can see it's a full refereeing crew powwow here between Tim Lay, Albert Krause and Mark Dent as they all agree here on who saw what. It's going to serve to add quite a bit of time to stoppage as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be adding a bit of time on at the end, and I think maybe it was coming with the way the game was going. Port getting a bit frustrated with some of those refereeing decisions. Casuarina missing some of those chances, and it's just got to a point now where they're getting a bit feisty with each other.
So we wait to see who gets summoned to the naughty corner. Mark Casemiro comes over. Declan O'Shea. Yellow for Casemiro. Yellow for O'Shea. And it appears as though that is the long and the short of it. 20 minutes to go. And I believe that is it. Well, having not seen the incident, Brian, I am in no position to judge, but it looks as though the referees were quite thorough and they've decided that a couple of yellows is all that we need out of that flashpoint there in the game.
Yeah, they've obviously had a good chat about it. I thought there might have been a bit more coming, but they've obviously decided that's all that's necessary at this point.
So now, I'm even testing my own memory as to what we resume play with. Maybe a contested or an uncontested drop ball here.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to decide at this point who have possession at this point, but don't know if we're getting any closer.
So, drop ball back underway. And after a couple of minutes to take a breather, we enter the last 20 with Port Darwin still holding a 1-0 lead that would keep their season alive, albeit hanging on by a thread. Prifty. Ball goes out for a throw. Long ball runs beyond the control of Paraskos Kuhn.
Looks like Rory Hood's having a bit of an issue down on the pitch at the moment as well. So we might be seeing a sub from Port very soon also.
Rory Hood was acknowledged pre-game for 150 senior matches. This is definitely not the way he would have wanted game 150 to end. You can see him in a lot of pain here, wearing the number 6 that's been vacated by Jonah Rule, who's not in the matchday squad tonight.
It looks like Casuarina are also going to make a sub. Looks like we have Seb Smith coming on for Quinlan Tran, who might have picked up a little injury. Looks like he's just limping a tad at the moment. Port working on their sub at the moment too. We've got number 11 coming on, and that is Samson Mashamengo, and that's for Rory Hood.
Great stuff. Thank you, Brian. And I've got to say that Quinlan Tran has been well below the standard that he set for himself tonight, so I'm not surprised that he's made way. I must admit, I'm actually surprised myself at just how off the pace he's looked at times in this game. So hopefully he'll be able to re-find his best in time for next weekend, because at the moment it is still shaping as a game that Casuarina will need to get something out of. Subs for both teams. Hood off for Mashamango. As we see the ball played back to Dejan Newell here. And the keeper able to keep his balance and open the body to clear the ball. Now the sub going through there.
Just to add as well, looks like we've had Daniel Marimbe come on for, who was it? Luis Rodriguez as well, just at the end of that little window there.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised by that. Rodriguez had certainly been busy, if not totally threatening all of the time as far as Casuarina trying to grab a goal. And I was going to ask you, Brian, how aggressive and how many risks do you think Casuarina should take here? I suppose, given the goal difference buffer that they've got, there's no harm in chasing an equaliser, which mathematically would guarantee finals, if the cost of that is losing 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said at the start, I was quite surprised to see Rodriguez coming off as well. He was looking like a bit of a threat. They don't have to take any risks at the moment, but at the same time, you want to win every game, and being 1-0 down in a game like this, leading into finals when they probably feel like they should be winning, they might start pushing a little bit harder.
Port Darwin will be happy just to take a bit of the sting out of this game. It certainly hasn't been their second half. They've been at times having to defend for their lives. Also relying on a slice of luck here and there to avoid conceding an equalising goal. This is McRae Van Lingen. Just driving the ball out for a throw. Straight back to Port Darwin. Mark Casemiro, he's been one of the stories of the game so far. 3 chances to score, all shot wide. And a penalty which was saved by Dominic Price. 15 minutes of regulation to go. But you can expect a bit of stoppage now that we've had some injuries and the big referee conference over who was getting booked about 5 minutes ago. And as I said in the opening minutes of the game, unlike the other matches this weekend, which yielded 11 and 8 goals respectively, it is not a surprise to see that this one has been a lot more of a tight tussle, and just the 1 goal between the two teams separating them at this advanced stage of the night. Pereira to Casemiro. Oh, and that foot is continuing to give him grief. As you can see him wheeling away in pain there at a bit of contact from Tobias Kogai. Oh, sorry, from Samson Mashamango. Free kick for Casuarina. Pereira didn't get much elevation on it. Cleared from the edge of the box. And then it York's Richie Barreto. Keane. Shallow pass, intercepted. Oh, and he's been able to at least stop it being slingshotted down the field, giving the Casuarina midfield and defence a chance to get behind the ball here. Players are dropping like flies. Cramps, soreness, all sorts of problems for Port Darwin. The referee eventually puts his whistle in the mouth, and you can see here Sean Hodor, scorer of the only goal. He needs to stretch at this point.
Looks like we're going to have another sub for Port, Teo. We've got number 10 coming on, Isaac Paul, and I'm not too sure who's coming off at this stage.
Well, it'll be a welcome return to the seniors for Isaac Paul, who's the only Port Darwin player in double-figure goals this season.
And it looks like that's going to be Jose coming off for Isaac.
So Raimundo Jose off, and Isaac Paul makes his return to the Port Darwin seniors with 13 minutes to go. I wonder if that actually signifies maybe that Port Darwin will try to press for a second and put the game beyond doubt and leave it all in the hands of the final weekend. Of course, they're no guarantee to beat Mindel Aces on Friday to keep their season alive. There's a very good chance that Casuarina, even if they lose tonight, will have a dead rubber come next Saturday if Port Darwin lose or draw against Mindel on the Friday. Marimba. And now Barreto. Moving it on to Coombe, cutting central. Paraskos Coombe saw Casemiro out of the corner of his eye. Full spin on the ball. And now backtracking, leaves it with Gordon Pereira. Tried to return it to Coombe where the move started, but it's been driven out for a throw. Barreto takes quickly. It's uncompromising defending from Jay Adams. And now the back pass, Isaac Paul. He's been a bit of a specialist on picking off a shallow back pass this season. Unable to chase it down on that occasion. Suarez. Casuarina down the right side. Marimba. Corey Davis. Casuarina, you can see, starting to lift the tempo of their play. Some of the fresh legs from the subs contributing to that. Port Darwin, can they find a gap to exploit? Horo. Sicles. And ricochet is kind for Roberto Sicles. And then Andrew Prifty asking too much of the Italian, trying to send him through the middle there. Barreto. 10 minutes of regulation to go. Long ball intercepted. Hodor. Second goal for Port Darwin now. You'd just about say they've got the 3 points tonight. Andrew Prifty. Back to Sicles. What's he like on his right side? He wanted to take on the man rather than swing in a right-footed cross. And Hodor again goes to ground. See what the Port Darwin sideline can do to try and revive him here. He is their key man. Mid-season acquisition coming up from Melbourne. John Dean there, smiling as he goes out to provide, I think, moral support as much as treatment.
Yeah, I think it'll be a big loss for Port if Sean has to come off. Looks like he's going to try and continue, but as we've seen, he's been struggling with those cramps for the last few minutes now. So
the remaining available subs, Tobias Kogai and John Dean, along with Terry Fannin, who is a central defender. So you suspect that if they were going to make a sub, Dean would be the most likely to come on. In the meantime, this is Jonas Casales playing through Isaac Paul. Oh, and he just decelerated at the moment where he had to go where his body may have been on the line against the keeper, Dion Newell. And so keeper ended up commanding the area as a result. But it's down the right end as far as Port Darwin are concerned. O'Shea. Sinclair hasn't stopped trying tonight, rolls off his man. And then the tackle coming in late is going to be sanctioned here by the referee. Yellow card for Yari McRae Van Lingen, knocking over Roberto Sinclair. And that's the third yellow card of tonight's match. Well, if I can start to preempt maybe the final score here tonight, Brian, we'll wait for this free kick. High ball into the area and not quite brought down by McAvoy, Prifty. And that is lifted harmlessly into the night sky. If Port Darwin was to win tonight, they'd still have to beat Mindle on Friday. And looking back through the results so far this season, Mindle beat Port 2-0 back in round 10. Trying to find where they played most recently. Ball is knocked here to Mashamango. Prifty. Isaac Paul. Mashamango. Paul, the two subs combining. And Paul, oh, it's fallen kindly and scuffed away. Great chance for Port to make it 2-0. That's been their best chance to score in this second half. And wonder if they'll be left to rue that opportunity right there for Hodor. But just on Port v Mindle, back in round 6, Mindle won 3-2, and that was a bit of a heartbreaker for Port because I do think they led that 1-0 and then it was 2-2, and then Mindle were able to get over the line. So they'd have to bring a bit of a surprise to beat them on Friday, to keep their season alive, and then hope for the best with Port Darwin on Saturday, with Darwin Hearts on Saturday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot will have to go right. But you know, so long as it's possible, I think they'll have plenty of hope and plenty of belief, and that means they'll be very dangerous next Friday. I think they'll come out firing and ready to go. And I think we've seen plenty of results this season that show us that anyone can sort of beat anyone at this stage. And Casuarina probably aren't guaranteed 3 points versus Hearts, so they're going to have to be on their game as well.
It would be a cruel irony if they ended up on the same number of points and then lost out on goal difference to get the unlikely results going their way, but not to get the numbers to accompany them. We've got another booking here for time wasting. So that's 4 cards now for the night. Frustration building for Casuarina here. what point are they going to start to throw the kitchen sink at an equaliser to prevent the need for it to go to next week? Tumbling ball to the edge of the box, headed away. And that's far from a convincing clearance. It's the big up and under. Marimba challenging. Lost out on the header on that occasion to Quinn. Horo. Karasalis. Isaac Paul turned into a 2-on-1. Dispossessed straight away. Now Casemiro hurdling through. Parascus Coombe. Good close control to keep the ball at his feet. Darwin retained possession. All of a sudden, the clock has become Casuarina's enemy. Just 3 minutes of regulation to go. Dominic Price, his penalty saved one of the vital points of this game. And it's allowed to bounce. That looked like a indiscriminate shove from McRae Van Lingen. And yes, I agree with the referee there. That was enough to constitute a foul. McRae Van Lingen's on a card, so it would be best not to be too full of protest here. Play continues. And swung into the penalty area to no great effect. Prifty, volleyed away by Pereira. Marimba. Oh, he's felled by late contact there. Adams. And the referee was not going to let that one slide. Marimba. Oh, the referee insisting the ball come back and be played from the point of the foul. It's just more vital seconds off the clock. And what's happening here? Someone's perhaps talked their way into the book.
We're also having a Port Darwin sub here.
Is that a second yellow for McRae Van Lingen? Anyway, talk us through the sub.
Yeah, sorry, Tio. We've got John Dean coming on, and it looks like Sean Hodor's come on.
So enough for Hodor. And I'm not sure who got booked there because it's just another yellow. Free kick then as we tick into the last minute of regulation. Casuarina have gone from beating the crown premiers of the division to being just a minute away from losing to 5th. Accelerating onto the ball, Sebastian Smith. And no real juice behind that cross, blocked out. Hard up against the byline and refusing to be beaten. It's going to be a goal kick. That should take us into stoppage time then. And Brian McCormick, I'll ask you, who is your man of the match in this game tonight?
Look, I think it's a tough one to call. I thought Sean Hodder had a very good game, but yeah, there's been a couple. Gordon Pereira's obviously, usually a class act when he's on the pitch, so he'd be up there as well. And just to update you, we've got about 4 minutes of added time.
Okay, so far from a done deal then. Port Darwin are going to have to lock down and keep wasting a bit of time to get over the line if they want to close out these 3 points. Keane slipped over as he played the pass, but it's going to reach its intended destination, Barreto. And is that going to be a Casuarina throw? It is. Score now, and we can lock in our top 4. If not, it goes to next weekend. headed away by O'Shea. What this result does do is it guarantees that we're going to have Mindel versus Uni Atsuri in the 2 versus 3 final, because Casuarina would have to not just equalise, but they'd have to win tonight to remain any mathematical chance of finishing 3rd. That's not going to happen at this stage. Through ball, Isaac Paul timed his run, but Dion Newell, good keeper at getting out of his line. He shanked it though, Siclares, and didn't quite get the power behind that attempt from distance. Defence clears. They'd love a second here at the end of the night, Port Darwin. Just one more to peg back on the goal difference, to give them hope going into Friday's game against Mindel. John Dean, the late sub. What can he do? Siclares, back to Dean. And he's happy to take it down to the corner and waste some time. Let the games begin. And it's looking more like judo than football, as the foul is given. John Dean offering his shirt there to McRae Van Lingen. Half of stoppage time has expired. Port Darwin holding on. And Brian, we've got another late sub.
Yeah, it looks like Tobias Koge is coming on. And it might be Yanni Casales coming off as well.
So just something to wind a few more precious seconds off the clock here, rather than leave at the nearest exit. Casales has managed to get himself walk all the way over the pitch, and on comes Kogai. Seems in no hurry to push up the pitch. And now, is that a Casuarina player down, taking a seat? Anyway, we're back out of the corner. They're going to attack, sneak attack here from Port Darwin. It's in the penalty area, and it's a second goal. Has it been disallowed though? McAvoy was celebrating. I think the goal has been paid. It is 2-0. And Ryan McAvoy has scored.
No, I think they've disallowed that one, Teo. I think they might have called a foul against McAvoy.
There you go. Apologies, viewers, who thought that was 2-0. We're in the last minute of stoppage. It remains only 1-0. The game is still alive. If Casuarina score here, they lock the top 4. High ball. This is it. Last roll of the dice. Daniel Marimba to be the hero. And it's held onto by the goalkeeper. Price made the block. Price picks it up. And Price says, I want this clean sheet. And now with just seconds to go, that should be it. Last chance for Casuarina. It's all going to be on the generosity of the referee from here. Barreto. On borrowed time, Casuarina, as the ball is headed out. 4 minutes of stoppage time is up. And here's the long throw from Barreto into the penalty area. Is there one last twist in the tail? John Dean making his presence felt. Prifty, Dean back in, got the ball, got it out. Suarez takes the throw. And Siclares, that looked like a foul. Referee, well, he initially signaled advantage, but now it looks like it's going to come back. And this is it for Casuarina. Surely you send the house. They've got one chance here to make next week redundant. Port Darwin playing to continue their season, to keep it alive. Must admit, I'm a little bit surprised Dion Newell hasn't come up with free kick. All hands on the pump for Port Darwin then, trying to hold on. We're into a 6th minute of stoppage time. Corey Davis to take. His set pieces haven't troubled the keeper tonight. Can this be a different story? Davis bending it into the box, and it's off the shins. It's away. And from right back, Adams drives it long. And the Football Northern Territory Men's Premier Division will go down to the final home and away round to decide our top 4 as Port Darwin prevail thanks to the goal from Sean Hodor. They need to beat Mindel Aces on Friday. They need Darwin Hearts to beat Casuarina on Saturday afternoon. And most significantly, they need to make up a massive 7 goals difference. So the season may be alive, but they still need Mission Impossible to make it come to fruition. Now, before I wish you good night, the broadcast has been brought to you by Pilot. And Pilot is the most convenient way to deal with common men's health problems. Men in Australia aren't known for going to the doctor, and doctor's trips can be awkward and time-consuming. Pilot fixes that problem by bringing the doctor to you via the internet, prescription treatments for hair loss and other common issues, and there's free delivery. Scan the QR code to find out more. That's Pilot, tonight's broadcast partner. On behalf of Sportscast Australia, my name's Teo Pellizzeri. Big thank you as well to our eyes at the ground, Brian McCormick. Stick around for the post-game show. That's it from me, though. Casuarina 0, Port Darwin 1.